I'm not saying that's the smart way to go. It's just the way I went. Sam, if I had it to do over again, I would spend a lot more time looking for the guys who could really help me get going and help me hone what I'm doing. And by the way, in 2026, I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with Hola Prime. I would say I had a serious problem with that issue, yes. I think in 2019, like I told you earlier, I'm 74. I had a heart attack in 2019. So managing risk and thinking about those kinds of things and thinking about the things that make me feel good when I'm trading became an issue for me.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Trader Stories podcast here with Hola Prime. Today we're joined by a very special guest, Dave from Kansas, United States, who has 3 $100,000 funded accounts with us. And he's recently taken out a payout of $1,700, so he's doing really, really well. Dave, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Sam, I'm doing great and looking forward to our discussion.
Amazing. Great to hear. Dave, I know a little bit about your story, but for the viewers, where did it all start for you trading-wise? What got you into trading?
I was introduced to trading in 2005, 2006, somewhere in there. I'm a 74-year-old retired insurance executive today. So in 2006, a couple of guys told me about trading. I got involved, started trading currencies, and off and on did well. But like I said, off and on, it was a whole new ballgame for me. Never done anything like it before. So that's when I started. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm pretty much self-taught on most things that I do. I'm also a professional musician. I play banjo, fiddle, and guitar and all that stuff.
You're the perfect person for this because I've always wondered, has the market evolved? Have you had to adapt over the years, from 2006 to now, for example? Or have you kind of had one strategy and you just stuck by it and consistently do the same thing?
For me, I have changed dramatically how I saw how this works. I was taught a certain way to trade back then. For me, I needed to find my own way to manage risk, take a trade that I thought I wanted to trade, depending on the time of the day I want to trade. And I like trading early morning United States time, which is around 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm an early riser, so I look at the market at that time. 2 years ago, I was introduced to index trading. So that was a whole new ballgame. So I had to look at the US 30 and the NAS 100. And finally I got to the place where I said, I don't want to trade these. I want to move over to the European indexes. I found them to be more stable for me. I found the trends to be steady. And that's why I slid over into that area. And that's where I am today.
Incredible. So you mostly trade like the DAX or the FTSE, for example?
Yes, that's correct.
No, that's amazing. When you started back in 2006, what was kind of your style of trading? What was kind of not necessarily your strategy? Were you looking at, just trends and kind of following the trend? Or I'm really curious because I know back then, although, computers obviously existed, from what I remember, because I started in around 2010, it was a whole different ball game. You didn't have the tools we have available now, and everything was just a bit, I don't know, not as advanced compared to now with all the tools that are available. Have you made most use of all the tools that are out there now?
I've made average use of the tools, I would say. And to be honest with you, there's a lot there, and there's a lot that Hola Prime offers that I haven't even gotten into yet, but plan to short. Like I said, I'm a self-starter at a lot of things I do, self-taught with a lot of things I do. I take a lot of pride in that. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. And yes, you're right. Things have changed a lot from 2006. In fact, I don't even really, it's 20 years ago, I don't even really recall that whole, I was trading the Euro USD and the pound versus USD back then. And like I said, I had some success, some failure, back and forth.
Yeah.
So
I feel, from my memory, that it was a lot calmer, the markets. I don't know if that's actually true, but just how it feels. But for me, it felt a lot calmer back then. Today, it's far more volatile, I feel the markets are. I don't know if you feel the same as well. I wouldn't say it was easier to trade back then, because it was never easy, but I felt there was less kind of chance of just something crazy happening,
Yes.
But then again, you would have been trading around the 2008 financial crash.
Yes.
Do you remember that vividly? You know.
Yes, I collapsed right along with it.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest with you, absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
I failed during that time. I was, to be honest, I was so, maybe a rebel. I don't know what the word is, but I was always back then fighting the trend. As stupid as it sounds, I was fighting the trend. So when that happened, if I was fighting the trend in 2008, you know where I went.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. But, look, fighting the trend, I know that people always say follow the trend, but that is a legit strategy as well, especially on very rangy markets. When the markets are choppy, you can do incredibly well fighting the trend, getting the little pullbacks here and there. But you're right, overall, it's best to go with the trend than against it.
and Sam, you are right. When I wake up at 4:45 in the morning, I come in here, pull up the charts, and I look at how the market has been since the European Open. Then I say, okay, does this look like it's on a one-way run here, or has this been kind of choppy this morning? And sure enough, if it's been choppy, what you just said is so true. I'll look at the 1 minute and I say, okay, wait a minute. The DAX is down, and it's been down really off and on all morning, up and down, up and down. So I'm going to wait till it pops back down here before I get in, and then I'm buying this. And I'm not going to risk a bunch of money, but I think I can make 40, 50 points on this. And sure enough, boom, 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 boom. But if I see it's been on a one-way run like this morning, the DAX is on a one-way run this morning. So I said, okay, I'm not going to short this. I'm taking it up this morning. And sure enough, within 30 minutes, I was finished. So, yeah. So that's how I look at it, Sam.
Absolutely right. And that's exactly what I do as well. Because people always, they see a strategy or something online and they think it will work in every market condition, which is unfortunately not true. There are trend-based strategies, there are range-bound strategies, and what you've just said there is identify which condition the market's in. Are we in a choppy, ranging market? Then, a strategy where you're shorting at the top of the range but longing it at the bottom works incredibly well. But if you're waiting for that breakout to occur, you're going to get chopped up constantly.
Yes.
But then in a trending market, in a market where, like you said, it's picked a direction and it's just going there, then absolutely, chase the market as well. Try ride that trend as far as it goes. So identifying the condition the market in is almost a superpower in trading. First thing you should do, identify what kind of condition are we in. Then you can base your trading decisions on that, rather than just blindly entering based on a few rigid rules that you might have in a strategy. So I think what you said there is something every beginner should really make note of, because that's absolute gold what you said there. I would love to know a little bit about your strategy, Dave. Is it possible, there is a share button just below, is it possible you could load up some charts for us, share your screen and show a chart and just kind of walk us through what you would look for on a typical day?
Sam, this laptop is 20 years old. It was down.
Okay.
It was down in the basement. I trade off a desktop, but it doesn't have a camera on it. So,
I'm with you.
So I went downstairs, pulled this thing up, and I said, my wife's name is Susie. I said, Susie, I don't even know if this thing works. So so I am so sorry.
No, don't be. It's absolutely fine.
So I don't have charts on here.
Sure. No, that's absolutely fine, Dave. Is it possible you can just talk us through then, kind of what you would look for?
Yes, I can tell you I use adaptive moving averages, and I have three different lines. I'll pull up adaptive moving average 1, adaptive moving average 2, adaptive moving average 3. So then I look at the direction of those lines when I get up in the morning, and When one crosses, let me rephrase. First of all, I look for those trends first. Are we on a one-way run or not, or has it been choppy? If we're on a one-way run, I look at those lines, and if one is above 2 and 3, I'm following it, and I'm going to use a 3-minute chart. That's what I do. So one probably works too. I found 3 to be a little steadier for me. So as long as one is above 2 and 3, I'm taking the trade up. If it's below, I'm taking the trade down. But when I put the trade in, typically, if I take that trade, then I'm going to put a $4 trade in, 4 lots up with 1 lot down, just as a hedge. The reason is, if I'm wrong, then if I've got it going up and one crosses 2 and 3 going down, then I get out of the $4 trade, keep the $1 trade, and add the $4 to the $1. So then I'm ahead of the game. And my thinking is, normally, and this is true, normally, if I lose 60 pips on the up trade, typically I'm going to make that 60 going down on the down trade. But then I've also got the $1 trade in, so it continues. If I lost 60, I made 60 on the one, and I'm going to continue to make another 60 on the one. That's typically how I do it.
That's a very interesting strategy. I know a lot of people like to hedge. I mean, not when I say a lot of people, it's not really that common anymore, but it was a very kind of institutional tactic as well to hedge your position. So did you learn when you first got into trading? Did you learn from maybe like a professional trader, an institute, or was it just self-taught completely?
Definitely self-taught. I'm not saying that's the smart way to go. It's just the way I went. Sam, if I had it to do over again, I would spend a lot more time looking for the guys who could really help me get going and help me hone what I'm doing. So, and by the way, in 2026, I'm going to be doing that a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with Hola Prime, but we're in a new year. I'm just getting going. Like I told you earlier, I pulled my risk back some. I'm trading fewer lots, making the money I want to make, trading smarter. But then here, like starting next week, I'm going to be accessing a lot more of what Hola Prime has to offer.
That's fantastic. No, really good plan. Really, really good plan. And I'm sure you're going to do incredibly well. Dave, I would like to talk a little bit about psychology. Because we all know as traders, if we don't control our emotions, or we get into that kind of vicious circle of revenge trading or whatever it might be, it's all downhill from there. How did you ever struggle with the emotional and psychological side of trading?
I would say I had a serious problem with that issue. Yes. I think in 2019, like I told you earlier, I'm 74. I had a heart attack in 2019. So managing risk and thinking about those kinds of things and thinking about the things that make me feel good when I'm trading became an issue for me. And even as I explained this year, 3 weeks ago, over the holidays, I decided that I was trading too much. I was trading too many lots with my accounts, because I analyzed the whole thing and said, do I feel good when I'm trading in the morning? And the answer was no. I did not. Did I enjoy it? Yes. But did I feel good? Was I stressed? I was stressed. So I said, okay, what can I do to feel good? And I said, okay, I'm gonna pull it back some, because I know what I'm doing. It's really good. And I did. I pulled back, set new targets, set new goals, and I'm just not going to have losing days anymore. I mean, I really mean that. I don't plan to lose any money anymore on any given day, ever again. So that's just it. Does that make me right about that? Not necessarily, but that's my goal, is to make money every day. So
no, absolutely. And scaling back, like you said, because I've noted this in my own trading. There was a time where I had multiple accounts, some prop, some, actual cash accounts, my own capital. And although I would take essentially the same trades, one account would end up negative and one would be positive. And I thought, how am I still here?
Yeah, you are now. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, as I was saying, I noticed in my trading once where I would have multiple accounts, like some prop, some, of my cash account. And although I'll take the same trade, or the same trades, sorry, on both accounts, one would do a lot worse than the other. And it came down because I was more nervous on the account where I was risking too much, because I would see the drawdown figure to be, maybe like $300, and that make me a bit more nervous. Whereas if it was, only at 100, it's not too bad. I can handle that. I can handle a bit of a, bit of drawdown. So I would make more rash decisions when I was risking too much, and wouldn't be able to let the trades run either, because I'd be up maybe $500, and I'm like, okay, I'd rather take it now rather than let it run, So you're absolutely right. The psychology of scaling back, keeping your risk to a level where you're comfortable, where it doesn't all of a sudden it massively impacts your overall P&L, and you can have winning days a lot more frequent because you're not emotionally attached as much as larger positions. So really good.
Sam, I agree 100%. The other thing that I've been thinking, and even did it today, is that if, let's say I want to make $100 on a $100,000 account, which is not that much money, but what if I'm up $40 profit? So what happens? I go take the $40 profit, and then I just kind of hop back in the trade right away and say, okay, if it's going to go up, it's going to go up. So I come back in and do it again, and sure enough, I'll go make another $30, and then I'll come back in maybe with fewer lots, I'll say now I'm going to trade at $1.50, so I'm going to see if I can make another 10. If I'm wrong, big deal, because if it goes the other way, I'm going to take the trade the other way anyway. So anyway, I've been kind of messing around with that thinking also.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right with that as well. I call that base hits, I like to call it. Not looking for the home run trades. If the market's giving you a certain amount, especially as a scalper, take it. And it's amazing how quick it adds up. Because it's the same as, I'm sure every trader has experienced this, where you get stopped out multiple times in a row. And because you have a really tight stop loss, whatever it might be. And you get stopped out. And before you know it, although you weren't risking that much on each trade, before you know it, you're down quite a bit. And now you're like, oh, it's going to be hard to dig myself out this little hole today. And it's just because, these little amounts added up. And same vice versa with the wins. They add up. You don't need to make one big chunk. Small little chunks add up so quickly in trading.
Amen. And not just dollars, but those little mental hits that tell you this is going great. I'm right again. Oh, I'm right again. Oh, I'm right again. That kind of thinking.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, again, when you're feeling good about the trade, you generally trade better than if you're panicking or feeling negative or upset, angry, whatever it might be. And I would say that, that applies to not even just in trading, but if there's something happening in your personal life that where you're not probably in the most sound mind at this moment in time, probably best to not trade that day, because it can spill over onto the charts, and you take those negative emotions into your trades, and you make decisions you wouldn't normally make because you're just not on top form that day, So really, really true, everything you're saying. And I think that comes with experience as well, which you certainly have, considering how long you've been trading for.
And Sam, on that 3-minute trade that I take, or 1 minute or 2 minute, whatever you want to call it, I've been doing it long enough. Like on the DAX, I've gone back and looked. 8 months ago, basically, and see how that traded at 5 o'clock in the morning, and almost to the day, if I could tell that the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute were down, for instance, the odds of that trade staying down between 5 in the morning and 10 in the morning Kansas time is almost zero. That at some point that the trade's not going to stay down. It's you're going to make some money going back. So I always knew, I know now anyway, if I can wait till that thing flattens out some, just make myself wait, it's going to move up some. And sure enough, almost every day, the odds are with me that it's going to move. I don't mean put a bunch of money on it. I just mean it's what's going down is not staying down forever. It's just not going to. So anyway.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. I wanted to ask though, what if the opposite happened? What if you start your trading day and it's just a bad day for you and you lose, let's say, 3-4 trades in a row? How do you handle that? Do you call it a day there, or do you try and make it up a bit, or where do you kind of draw the line?
Sam, I used to fight that a lot and keep trying to make the money back, keep trying to make the money back. Now, I just don't do that anymore. And matter of fact, I won't let it go 3 or 4 now. I just won't. I'll let it, if, for one thing, I'm trading a lot less money, so that changes the whole way I look at a trade. So if I'm wrong a couple times on a specific trade, I'm out for the day. But I don't want to sound arrogant, or I just don't want to do that, because I'm not that way at all. Trading smaller money, though, with the volatility with indexes, I know that I'm going to make my money. I just know I'm going to make my money that day. And sometimes I'll branch over from the DAX, and yes, I might even trade the NAS 100. I might pop over there and say, okay, what's going on with it? Okay, it's been moving down hot and heavy. Will there be buyers coming in here pretty quick? And do I want to put a bunch of money on this trade? No, I don't. But do I want to put $1 on the trade? Yeah, I think I do. I think I can make 20, 30. So I look for different ways to make money. I look for the right opportunities, and I know you do too, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, and that's a really good rule to have as well. When it's not your day, walk away. I think every trader kind of has experienced, the ups and downs where when you can't accept the losing day, how quickly it can destroy your account is scary. It really is, and you don't realize it's happening until it's almost too late. Until you're almost at the limit of the risk, and then you realize, how did it get this bad that quickly? I don't know, but that's why walking away is sometimes, not trading is sometimes the best form of risk management. 100%.
Yes.
Dave, I'd like to talk a little bit about Hola Prime. How long have you been with us so far?
I've been with Hola Prime probably 6 months, I would say. And my experience the entire time has been great. It's just been great. Early on, I wasn't putting stops in. So I got an email from the company that said, Dave, we think it's this. I can't remember what it said. But, within one day, I started putting stops in. So I put my limit order in and a stop in on every trade, basically. So, and this helped me think the right way also. So I picked that up from the company right away. The payday, when I got paid, I put the withdrawal in one morning, and within 2 hours, it was in my bank account. That's crazy. That's crazy. So
we do pride ourselves on the payout speed, but I'm glad, everyone always talks about the payout speed, which is obviously one of the big selling points, I guess. But what you mentioned there, the risk alerts that we send, are truly there to try and help the trader, and you don't have to follow it necessarily. You don't have to take our advice, but we hope you do, because statistically speaking, we have a lot of data. We know the chances, for example, like in your case, not putting a stop, it could take one tweet now or one instant news and it just gaps through and you can blow your account without having that solid stop. So it is really good practice to have. But I'm glad you mentioned that. In terms of, because you have 3 accounts with us, so I know you mentioned you have 2. You have a challenge account you took and you passed that, and then did you buy 2 direct accounts? Was it, or
no? I was
one direct and another challenge.
One direct, and the other challenge account is the one that I got a 90% discount on.
Right, gotcha.
And I just started trading it just a few days ago.
Amazing. So you got 2 challenge accounts that you passed and 1 direct account. Excellent. How did you find the challenge process? Like the rules, the execution, the platforms, the whole process as a whole?
I had to learn a lot with regard to the rules, but the process, I thought the company was honest with me every time. They gave me the benefit of the doubt. On one time, I had an NAS 100 trade in during news time, and it kicked out 5 seconds before it should have. 5 seconds. So I got a hold of Hola Prime, and I'm not sure who it was, but they came right back and said, Dave, yes, this was an issue, but we're going to act like it wasn't, and let's just go. Let's just. Yeah. So, and some companies won't do that. Hola Prime did. Whoops, did I lose you? I can't tell if I've lost you, Sam.
Yeah, I'll be back in a... Can you hear me now, Dave?
Are you there, Sam?
Yep. 2 seconds. Am I here? I think that was on my end.
Okay, there we go.
Hello, Dave?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. I think that was my end.
Okay, no biggie.
Sorry, you were saying the company treated it as, they just wrote off basically the accidental news trading.
No question. And I appreciated that so much, and that really shapes the way a guy thinks about the company. And hey, look, if I breach my account with some ridiculous mistake or whatever, well, of course, that's just the way it goes, and that's fair, no question. So
yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and because there are there are other prop firms that are purely there in hopes that you fail. And then there's ones like, of course, Hola Prime does make money on the challenges. We're not going to claim we don't, but that's just one side of the business. If someone is successful, we can make a lot more money from the successful trader than whatever the challenge fee is. So backing, seeing people with potential, backing them, because it's more mindset. The data that we gather on people it's not always about how much profit you make, because look, you can full port, the whole account on one trade and get lucky. Okay, you make a hell of a lot of money, big profit, but can you do that consistently is the big question, right? And seeing traders like yourself who look for just the small wins and that consistency is something we can back, because we know you're never going to do anything too crazy. You're never going to put your whole full margin on one trade or do something that you just shouldn't do as a trader. You're a very safe bet as a trader, so it's really important to have traders like yourself on our platform.
And Sam, some of this, to be honest, I haven't always been this way. And in fact, even just 3 months ago, I was trading a certain way, and it just, I just know Hola Prime is going to like the way I'm trading going forward in all 3 accounts. They're just not going to. I really believe that they're not going. They're going to say, this guy knows what he's doing. He's very careful. It is what it is. And I'm happier being that way. Like I said, I'm just less stress. Kind of flow with everything better, and I'm going to make money every day. That's just those are my thoughts.
That's it. And you do end up making more money in the long run. It's been proven time and time again. Your approach makes more money in the long run than the kind of more gambling approach where you kind of put all your eggs in one basket and hope for the best. you know?
Amen.
Yeah. Because, you know, okay, you might have a very good week or a very good month with that approach, don't get me wrong. But it's almost guaranteed, almost inevitable, you're going to blow that account. It's almost guaranteed to happen. And then, okay, you do the challenge again, it takes some time, pass it, and then you're always just playing that kind of, you're never actually progressing, you're just kind of in this loop. And while you might some days make, you know, 1 month you might make money, the next month you make nothing. You, in terms of, you know, day-to-day living, I would much rather have a trading. I'd much rather have the trading results where I make, you know, $2,000 a month consistently, every month, almost like a salary, than the approach where maybe I make $10,000 1 month, nothing for a few months, and then another $5,000 in June or whatever. You can't build your life around that. You just don't know when your next paycheck's coming, you know?
Sam, that's well said. In fact, starting this year, 2026, I said to myself, I want to make between $90 and $100 per day on this particular account. And if you go look, starting on the 5th of this year, my lowest day was $85. My highest day is $98. So I knew every day this is what I wanted to make. And today, here's another day, I made $91 today. I'm going to scale up probably next week to say, okay, I'd like to make $120 a day. But for now, this is where I am and this is what I'm doing. And tomorrow, I guarantee you, I will make between $90 and $100.
Yeah,
in each account. So anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know, you see this with true professionals, like take like a hedge fund or something. You know, their average returns are not that high every year. You know, you're looking at maybe 10-15% on a good hedge fund.
Yep.
And these are, you know, they have the best technology, they have, you know, extremely good traders, they have algorithms, they have everything that we as, you know, retail traders probably wish we had, you know, that kind of level of tech. Yet they do relatively small percentages, you know, compared to the retail world. And that's just because they keep their risk so tight, you know, so tight that and they realize that, you know, rather have a 15% annual gain than maybe once in a while have a, you know, 15% monthly gain, but then lose money, because their clients, who their investors, are not going to be happy with the kind of up and down crazy nature. They want to see a nice, clear, steady graph, you know, that a nice profit curve that's nice and steady, rather than up and down, like a roller coaster. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So really, really well done. Honestly, hats off to you for doing it properly. And in the long run, it will 100% pay off. And I can't wait to see where you are, you know, a year from now, beginning of 2027, where you'll be in a year's time. I'm sure you'll have more capital, and instead of doing $100 a day, I'm sure it might be $300-400. Which is, you know, that's how you grow, get more capital, and you'll keep scaling with us, and yeah, sky's the limit, essentially.
Absolutely.
What are your plans for the future this year with Hola Prime? I know you got 300k right now. Are you looking to get even more capital this year?
Yes, I am. I want to get the two challenge accounts making money. The one of course, the new one, I've got to grow it to 10,000. I'm already starting to target, okay, when will I have that there? So I sat down this weekend and kind of figured when. So it'll be a couple of months based on how I'm trading now before I have it there. No hurry, just steady every day. And then it'll be making the same money that the direct account's making, and so on. So
perfect.
And then, yes, I plan on just, you know, as you know very well, if I learn this system like this, use Hola Prime more to teach me some other things maybe that I'm not doing especially at different times of the morning. I'm trading at 5, and a lot of times I'm finished at 6 in the morning. Well, there might be some things I can learn from Hola Prime that teaches me what to do at the open at 8:30. when the stock market opens over here and that kind of stuff. So those are the things I'm going to be looking at here the next few days. So
absolutely,
Susie and I,
really smart.
Sam, I'm retired.
Sorry.
Susie and I, there's parts of the country we haven't seen. The great thing about currency trading and index trading, I can take a good laptop with me, trade anywhere in the world, and Susie and I can travel all over the world and do this every morning and make money every morning. So it's pretty cool, actually, and we plan to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's another thing people forget. You got to enjoy the money you make as well. I'm not saying spend every penny on silly things, but whether it's taking a, like you said, traveling a bit with your wife, family, whatever, and because then it makes it real as well, and it's not just numbers on a screen.
Right.
Those numbers actually, it's real because you can actually, you feel the purchases you've made with them. Next time you're out in a restaurant and you're having a lovely meal with your wife, and then the check comes and you realize that was paid for by the market, which is insane if you actually think about it.
Absolutely.
It's just money from thin air, essentially. It's it really is mind-blowing, and it makes it real, and you have more of a respect of the money that you do make. When you see, like you said, $50-$60 up, you're more likely to be like, okay, that's a decent amount, I'm happy, I'm going to take that for this trade, rather than be like, no, I need 600, I need 1,000, and yeah.
And Sam, I've been that other guy before who wanted to make the 500 or the 300. So I know what you just said is exactly right. And it's for me, it's smarter to be over here saying, okay, wait a minute, I'm up $60, $70, I'm out of this trade. And then I'll watch it for a little bit and maybe pop back into the same trade with fewer lots to see if I can make some more money out of that. So anyway,
that's it. Yep. That's it. Incredible stuff. Dave, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story, and just being an all-round great guy to talk to. Really, really phenomenal stuff. I hope we can do this again in the future as you get more payouts and more accounts, and we'll have a little update on how you're doing. But it's been truly an honor and a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate your time, Sam.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank
you.
And
to all the viewers, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead, leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on channel notifications, join our Discord, do all that good stuff, and we'll be back with many more videos in the future. But until then, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.